There is a leash around your neck. You cannot see it. You cannot feel it. But the moment someone pulls, you move. A comment, a look, a tone of voice, and suddenly you are no longer in control. Your pulse rises. Your jaw tightens. Words leave your mouth before your mind has approved them. And in that moment, that brief, violent moment, you have handed your power to someone who may not even know your name. This is not weakness. This is programming. And tonight I will show you exactly how it works, so you can finally disable it. Think back, not to your proudest moment, but to your most regretted one. The argument you replayed 40 times in the shower. The message you sent at 1 a.m. that you wished you could unsend by 1:01. The meeting where you lost composure and watched respect leave the room before you did. You were triggered, not by logic, not by truth, by emotion. And the worst part? You knew better. You always know better, afterward. In the calm that follows the storm, you see it clearly. The manipulation, the bait, the provocation designed to destabilize you. But in the moment, you took it. You swallowed the hook, and someone else reeled you in. This is the first truth you must accept. Emotional reaction is not passion. It is not authenticity. It is surrender. Every time you react without intention, you reveal yourself. You show others exactly where your buttons are and exactly how hard to press them. You become legible, and in any game of power, legibility is death. The strategist remains opaque. The fool advertises his wounds. You must decide which one you are. Let me show you what happens inside you when you are provoked, because this is not a metaphor. This is neuroscience. Deep in your brain sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is ancient, it is fast, and it does not think. Its only job is survival. When it perceives a threat, real or symbolic, it triggers what scientists call an amygdala hijack. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of you capable of logic, nuance, long-term thinking, goes offline. Blood flow redirects. Hormones flood your system. Cortisol, adrenaline, your heart rate spikes, your pupils dilate. You are no longer a strategist. You are an animal preparing for combat. This response evolved to save you from predators. But here is the problem. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a lion and a LinkedIn comment. A status threat triggers the same cascade as a physical threat. Someone questions your competence in a meeting. Amygdala. Someone dismisses your opinion in front of others. Amygdala. Someone leaves you on red after you were vulnerable. Amygdala. Your ancient brain interprets all of these as survival-level emergencies, and it responds accordingly. This is why intelligent people say stupid things when angry. This is why composed professionals send unhinged emails at midnight. This is why you, someone who knows better, still reacts before you think. You are not weak, you are wired. But here is the liberating truth. Wiring can be overridden. Reflexes can be retrained. The amygdala may fire, but you can learn to not obey. Now let us examine the battlefield where most modern emotional hijackings occur. It is not the jungle. It is not the battlefield. It is the screen. Social media has created an ecosystem optimized for emotional reaction. Every algorithm rewards engagement, and nothing engages like outrage. You scroll. You see a take that disgusts you. Your fingers move before your mind consents. You reply. You argue. You defend. And 30 minutes later, you realize you just donated your nervous system to a stranger who will never think about you again. This is the modern trap. Provocation has become a strategy. There are people, some conscious of it, some not, who have learned that the fastest way to capture your attention is to destabilize your emotions. They do not want dialogue. They want reaction, because your reaction feeds them. Your anger is their relevance. Your outrage is their oxygen. And every time you engage, you teach them to do it again. But it is not only online. The workplace is filled with subtle provocateurs, the colleague who questions your idea just to watch you scramble, the manager who delivers criticism in public, not for correction, but for dominance, the friend who makes jokes at your expense, then calls you sensitive when you object. These are not accidents. These are tests, and how you respond determines your position in the hierarchy. React emotionally, and you drop. Respond strategically, and you rise. It is that simple, and that difficult. Let's pause for a bit while I make a request. If this channel has ever given you something useful, a framework, a warning, a moment of clarity, then subscribe. Not for me, for the algorithm. Because the algorithm decides what gets seen, and right now it is promoting content that makes people dumber, weaker, more reactive. Every subscription signals that this type of content matters. That depth still has an audience. If you have received value, this is how you return it. If you have not, leave. No hard feelings. But if you are still here, you know what to do. Let us now examine what emotional reactivity truly costs you, not in abstract terms, in concrete, strategic terms. Cost 1. Predictability. Every time you react the same way to the same trigger, you become easier to manipulate. People learn your patterns. They learn that you cannot resist defending yourself. They learn that certain words make you spiral. They learn that criticism makes you aggressive, or that silence makes you anxious. And once they learn these things, they own a part of you. They can press the button whenever they need you to perform. You become a machine that responds to inputs. That is not power, that is programming. Cost 2. Regret. Every emotional reaction creates a residue. The words you said that you cannot take back, the impression you left that you cannot erase, the relationship you damaged that you cannot repair, and perhaps worst of all, the version of yourself you displayed that you do not respect. You know this feeling. The shame spiral after losing control, the mental replay that keeps you awake, the quiet knowledge that you were not your highest self. This is the tax you pay for reactivity, and you pay it in self-trust. Cost 3. Positioning. In any social environment, there is an unspoken hierarchy, and that hierarchy is determined, more than we admit, by emotional regulation. The person who remains calm while others panic rises. The person who speaks slowly while others rush commands attention. The person who does not take the bait, who lets provocations pass through them like wind, becomes dangerous to challenge. Emotional reactivity signals that you can be moved, and people do not follow those who can be moved. They follow those who move others. Every time you react, you reveal that your center is external, that your state depends on circumstances, that you are governed, not governing. This is not a moral failure, it is a strategic one, and it must be corrected. So what is the countermove? How does one override millions of years of evolutionary programming? Not with willpower. Willpower is a depleting resource. You cannot white-knuckle your way to emotional sovereignty. You need a protocol. Protocol 1. The sacred pause. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. That space is where your power lives. When you feel the surge, the heat rising, the jaw tightening, the words forming, stop. Do not speak. Do not type. Do not move. Breathe once, then breathe again. In that pause, the amygdala begins to quiet. Blood returns to the prefrontal cortex. Thought becomes possible again. This pause may last 2 seconds. It may last 2 hours. It may last 2 days. The length does not matter. What matters is that you take it. Protocol 2. The diagnostic question. In the pause, ask yourself one question. What does this person gain if I react? If the answer is control over my emotional state, do not give it to them. If the answer is proof that I am easily destabilized, do not give it to them. If the answer is entertainment at my expense, do not give it to them. Most provocations are not about truth, they are about power. And the moment you engage emotionally, you have already lost the exchange. Protocol 3. The cold response. There is a form of communication that disarms almost any provocation. It is not aggression. It is not passivity. It is coldness. A slow blink, a measured tone, a response so calm it forces the other person to wonder if their attack even landed. Interesting perspective. I'll consider that. Noted. These are not submissive phrases. They are power phrases. When delivered without heat, they communicate, "You do not have access to my interior." They signal that you are governed from within, not from without. And they often end confrontations faster than any clever retort. Protocol 4. Strategic delay. Some provocations require a response, but almost none require an immediate response. The email that enrages you at 9 a.m., respond at 3 p.m. or tomorrow. The comment that humiliates you in a meeting, address it privately days later when no one expects it. The insult that wounds you in the moment, let it hang in the air. Let the silence do the work. Delay is not weakness. Delay is dominance. It shows that you, not the situation, control the tempo, and tempo is everything. Protocol 5. The post-reaction audit. You will fail. You will react. You will lose composure. This is not a problem. It is data. After each failure, conduct an audit. What triggered you? What story did you tell yourself in the moment? What did you believe was at stake? What would the ideal response have looked like? Write it down. Every audit builds your awareness, and awareness is the foundation of control. I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly, if only to yourself. How many videos have you watched on this topic? How many podcasts about emotional control? How many books about stoicism or psychology or self-mastery? Now ask yourself, what have you actually implemented? I am not asking you to change tonight. I am asking you to write in the comments below. One sentence. Describe the last time you reacted emotionally and regretted it. Not for engagement metrics, though yes, comments help the channel grow. But because writing it down forces confrontation, it moves knowledge from passive to active, and that is where transformation begins. If you are too proud to comment, ask yourself why. If you are too busy, ask yourself what you are busy doing that matters more than self-mastery. The comment section is below. Use it or do not, but do not pretend you did not have the chance. There are two archetypes I want to leave you with, the reactor and the governor. The reactor lives in response mode. Their day is shaped by inputs. A rude comment ruins their morning. A delayed reply ruins their afternoon. A perceived slight ruins their week. They are constantly recovering, constantly regrouping, constantly cleaning up the messes their emotions created. Their energy is spent managing the consequences of their reactions, and so they never have enough left to build, to strategize, to rise. The governor lives in command mode. They observe inputs, but do not obey them. They feel emotions, but do not become them. They see provocations and choose non-response as a response. Their energy is conserved. Their reputation is unshakable. Their presence is felt precisely because it is not easily disturbed. The reactor is transparent. The governor is opaque. The reactor is predictable. The governor is dangerous. The reactor seeks approval. The governor commands respect. You are not born one or the other. You are built. Every reaction reinforces the reactor. Every pause builds the governor. Every failure is a choice point. Every success is a deposit in the account of self-trust. The question is not whether you have emotional triggers. Everyone does. The question is whether you will remain their servant or become their master. I will leave you with a law. It is not written in any book. It is not taught in any classroom. But those who rise understand it in their bones. Control your response or surrender your rank. Every interaction is a negotiation. Every provocation is a test. And every emotional reaction is a concession. You do not have to win every battle, but you must never lose yourself in one. The person who controls their inner state controls the room. The person who is governed by their emotions is governed by whoever triggers them. This is not about suppression. It is not about becoming cold or inhuman. It is about sovereignty, the right to choose your response, the power to remain unmoved when others expect you to crumble, the quiet authority that comes from knowing, truly knowing, that no one holds your leash. This is the work, and it does not end. There is one emotion that predators look for above all others. It is not anger, it is not fear, it is something quieter, more common, more exploitable. And in the next video, I will expose exactly what it is and how to eliminate it. Until then, stay cold, stay sovereign, and remember, you are not here to react to life. You are here to architect it.